What products, technology, and ideas were traded across the Silk Road during the Mongol Empire? The Mongols assumed control of China with Genghis Khan as the universal ruler. He died shortly after his grand conquest, and his heirs divided the land and soon learned that they needed to rule from thrones rather than horseback. Trade via the Silk Road allowed them to transport goods, technology, and ideas to the rest of the world. Before the Mongols took control of China, the Silk Road was in rough shape. Many of the oasis cities and outposts were abandoned, but the Mongols would bring the Silk Road to the height of its existence. As the Mongols spread westward, they would conquer much territory controlled by Muslims in the Middle East. Hulagu Khan, one of the regional leaders of the Greater Mongol Empire, sieged Baghdad and then turned towards Syria. This would catch the attention of the Christians. Christians would form an alliance with the Mongols primarily to gain a powerful ally against Islam. Together, they sieged Syria and effectively destroyed the Ayyubid dynasty. Other Muslims were not persecuted by the Mongols, and a reluctant neutrality was formed between the Christians and Muslims. As a result of all this conflict, the Mongol-controlled region in the Middle East would remain, but the religions within would merge with relative peace under Mongol control, as they cared more about territory than the actual religions being practiced in the area. Hulagu would actually die a Buddhist. His grandson, Mahmud Ghazan, would make Tabriz his capital city where pluralism would prevail. Pluralism allows for multiple religions to exist in the region with virtually no conflict. Other Mongol leaders would even adopt Islam as their religion. As the Mongols wanted to maintain their control of the world they conquered, they realized international relationships and trade would keep their hold as much as possible. Europeans, Romans, and others in the West wanted exclusive goods from Eastern Asia. As the Mongols controlled the central power of the Silk Road, they introduced new currency including gold and silver coins and paper money. There were many iterations of coins and notes across the empire. They lifted tariffs and lowered the costs for merchants to sell their wares. Trade greatly improved under Mongol rule. Europeans learned to use a weight economic system that was used by the Arabic world thanks to the influx of trading. Even fashion was influenced by the trade networks. Europeans created garments with long rows of buttons, a unique style from East Asia. The kaftan is a long robe garment that originated in Central Asia and was only common among Arabs. The new Silk Road spread this garment far across the entire Eurasian continent. The Silk Road was named after the most sought-after product from the East, silk. Silk is a high-quality fabric material produced by silk moths in China. The material is very fine and strong as it is comprised of proteins. Silks were traded with bright colors and intricate patterns of floral and animal designs. They were woven by skilled weavers who were often females. These talented weavers lived wherever the Mongol Empire expanded. The most valued silk fabrics were decorated with gold foil, a very fine sheet of gold that was adhered to the surface of the fabric. This application was done with a light coating of glue and did not add any tangible weight to the fabric. It was merely a matter of luxury to flaunt the wealth of those who could afford it. Romans already knew about silk from the earlier Silk Road. Now it was in demand again across Europe and Asia. Silk wasn't the only thing being traded. Wool products were produced in Europe and sent back east in the exchange. Wool was not as valuable as silk. Silver and precious metals were also valuable items that Westerners used to purchase goods from the East. Gold was traded both ways among the richest of merchants. Buddhism was already prevalent in China by this time. However, Buddhist iconography would spread into Europe. Even in the Scandinavian area, Buddhist symbols were added to tapestry and Buddhist statuettes were discovered. While these people may not have been proper Buddhist, they acquired unique treasures from across the Silk Road. To summarize, Mongols took control of China with force, but wanted to build good relations with other countries. Intervention occurred by the Mongols in the conflict between Christians and Muslims. Buddhism spread westward, and Islam spread eastward. Silk was the most notable good, hence why the trade routes were named the Silk Road. Other goods such as wool, precious metals, and religious trinkets were exchanged between Eurasian countries.